It is that day which is not your day, but it is my day. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, good early morning, good good whatever. Welcome to my day. Once upon a time, my day. Today's Once Upon a Time Monday is about the bag of tomatoes. The bag of tomatoes. Once upon a time, there lived a teacher who loved his students and was loved back by his students. So one day, the teacher asked the students, "Tomorrow, all of you will bring some tomatoes in a plastic bag to school, but there is a condition of how many number of tomatoes each one of you have to bring." The students then asked, "What is it, teacher?" The teacher replied, "You should give each tomato a name of a person you hate. And bring the number of tomatoes equal to the number of the persons you hate. So, if a student hates 5 people, then he had to bring 5 tomatoes." On the decided day, the student brought tomatoes as asked and showed them to the teacher. Some had 2, others 5, others 10, others 20, others 30 tomatoes, and even some had 40. Enemies are many. The teacher said, "My dear students, your assignment of this week is that you will have to carry these bags full of tomatoes with you everywhere you go for the whole of this week." And the students agreed. After all, tomatoes are okay. And they are beautiful, aren't they? But, as the days passed, the tomatoes started to lose their freshness and got spoiled. And because of this, the tomatoes started to smell awful. After a week, the teacher asked the students, "How did you feel this one week?" Oh, the students jumped. They complained of the awful smell, and those who had carried more tomatoes complained about the heavy weight and the smell, and they said, "This is the worst assignment ever given." The teacher looked at them and smiled, and he said, "This is very similar, my dear students, to what you carry in your heart. When you don't like someone, you carry that hatred everywhere. And that hatred makes your heart unhealthy, because at some time the rotting starts, putrefaction starts, and then there is a bad smell. Remember, it is your choice. If you cannot bear the smell of spoiled tomatoes for 1 week, you can imagine the impact of bitterness, of hatred on your heart as you carry it daily with you. You smell all over. You chose the luggage. You chose the smell. It is awful. Life is bad. And the student, in their silence, went away to dispose of their bags of rotten tomatoes and the awful smell departed from their shoulders, and they went home. But before they went, the teacher told them, come, there is a lesson. And we learned the lesson together with them. Good people, your heart, my heart, the heart is a beautiful garden that needs regular cleaning of unwanted weeds. Forgive those who have angered you. Forgive them. It is the only way. You never label down, this is my friend. You have that label, you carry that person wherever you go. And I tell you, at some point, the weight becomes heavier and the smell becomes unbearable. Forgive your parents. Have they angered you? Forgive them. Forgive your siblings. Have they hurt you? Forgive them. Forgive your employers. Have they hurt you? Forgive them. Forgive your employees. Have they hurt you? Forgive them. Forgive your teachers. Have they hurt you? Forgive them. Forgive your preachers. Have they hurt you? Forgive them. Forgive your students. Have they hurt you? Forgive them. Forgive your leaders. Have they hurt you? Forgive them. Forgive your children. Have they hurt you? Forgive them. Forgive your relatives. If they have hurt you, forgive them. You know, when we have been hurt by another, it can be very difficult to come to terms with the woundedness that we feel. But by accepting and embracing our own wounds, we open a door to forgiveness and a new life. Too often, people hold grudges in their hearts, which eventually affect their ability to develop healthy human relationships. You know why? Because they are stinking. One of the most important skills we each need is that of knowing how to forgive. Did you hear that, my good people? There is an African proverb which states, and I quote, "He who forgives ends the quarrel." End of the quote. Forgiveness builds us up and helps us move on, whereas revenge destroys and creates bitterness. Forgiving helps us to heal our own wounds. Did you hear that? Some people consider those who forgive to be weak or to be cowards or even stupid. But there is much wisdom in the proverb. The noblest vengeance is to forgive. The Gospels tells us that God is always ready and willing to forgive even the most serious fault of people. Now, if this is the behavior of our God, we do not have any pretext to deny anyone our forgiveness. Anyone. When we change our heart and forgive, we change ourselves and we change our world for better. For better. Oh yes, for better. This is how we translate the life and message of Jesus into our daily lives. Our situation in our various homes and relationships invite us to undertake this change of heart if we want a changed world. Hence, we are invited to be courageous enough to break down the walls, the cultural walls, social walls, political walls, religious walls, psychological walls, and economical walls that hinder us to forgive ourselves and others, and hence reconcile for the building of a just and a peaceful society. When we do that, then we are assured that our life will be start to exude the sweet fragrance Our work is not to become bitter. We must become better. Good people, let's go and throw away our bags of rotten tomatoes. Get better, not bitter. Nimeenda kutupa yangu.